Hey everybody, how amazing does this photograph look? I love the amount of flowers and the beautiful field. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Hi, I'm Dr. May Parekh. Welcome back to the Thinking Palette channel. I hope you've been checking the watercolor flowers that we've done earlier. Today we are going to be making another watercolor flower, the Black-Eyed Susan, in a field format. So let's get started. You know what? I used to think this flower was actually a sunflower till I came to know much more later. So we're starting with the Sitaram watercolor paper. It's a 220 GSM paper, and of course the Sitaram mob brushes, the Sonnet watercolors, and we're using the colors Hansa Lemon and Yellow Deep to create these beautiful petals. So you can start by making these petals. They're very simple, just go in strokes from up to down in the wet on dry technique. Adding some splatter. Fill the entire page because you've seen the original reference photo. There's a lot of, they're usually seen in fields together. So simply we're using the combination of this Hansa Lemon and the Yellow Deep, and in between I'll take maybe a little bit of red light, or I'll take the carmine and I'll add a little bit of yellowness and a little bit of orangeness to the entire work. Now the center area is where the whole why it's called the black eyed, it's because it looks because of the center part. So now in the center you can take your raw sienna and take a little bit of burnt sienna, whatever color you have. Use the tapping, use the tip of the brush in order to kind of create a lot of dots around each other. So it's like a clump of dots. Don't try and directly just make it round, because keeping the space in between is very important. We want to give that effect of the center part. Next, you can add a little bit of sap green to your brown, and with very sharp strokes, sharp thin strokes, because the stalks are quite thin, you can just make the stalks around the flowers. Awesome. Lot of green behind the flowers. So I want you to take your greens, whatever shades you have, the sap green, maybe the emerald green, viridian. Add a little bit of raw sienna or burnt sienna to them to get a more olive kind of a color, because that looks much more natural, much more grass-like. If it's not looking, if it's looking very bright green, it won't give you the nice texture. We're still following the wet on dry in most of the places. But if you carefully paid attention, see the raw sienna which was there is kind of flowed into the yellows in a lot of places. The browns flowed into the yellow. That's because those strokes were still wet and we wanted the colors to kind of blend in. Next, while the layer is slightly dried off, not completely, we can shift to a darker color. Maybe you can use an indigo also, or you can use a little bit of black in this case, mix maybe a little bit of dark blue, whatever you have. So that center part becomes much darker. Continue with the splatters, continue to add more depth in the background, add some leaves, add some grass-like effects. Well, in the entire page looks very empty on the top, so I'm kind of making smaller flowers so that the perspective is also maintained. This way we are kind of creating the entire picture of a field. It looks like a nice field of flowers that have all come together. Very simple to do, but really a lot of fun. What I'm doing here is now just making the petals a little more prominent. Going back to the splatter. The reason is because each and every petal is actually seen clearly when you look at the original flower. So we kind of just want to get that in. Remember, watercolors, when they dry off, they are always going to look lighter than they originally did. So we come back, make the black eye actually black eye, so it starts standing out. You don't need to really touch the yellows if your yellow are looking great. What you can do instead is the background where you see these empty spaces, you can take a darker shade of green, mix it with blue, or mix it with a little black, or a little bit of, even a darker red would give you a darker shade of green. Use that and fill the background spaces. So can you see between the petals, I just made a little darkness. As a result, the yellow flowers will stand out much more. So be very smart about it. Leave the stems intact. Don't, eliminate the stems. But just use that effect, go around the petals, go behind the petals, add the depth to the entire artwork, and that's ready. Looks really nice, easy to do. I hope you guys had a lot of fun doing it. We are almost done. So that's the Black-Eyed Susan for you guys. And we got our artwork created. I hope this was an interesting session and an educational one. If you found it useful, please remember to share it with your friends. Leave a comment so that we know you liked it. Press the like button. See to that you also subscribe to the channel. You can even press the bell button for setting reminders. I'll see you more with a lot of other tutorials and a lot of information soon. Until then, goodbye.